Hello everybody, I'm Chef Jeff from Smith's. Okay, Memorial Day is coming up. That means it's grilling season. And that means all the different kind of ribs and steaks and chicken and all those different wonderful things start to come out again, and it's perfect for that time of year. So let's talk about today this thing here. If you've ever seen one of these before, this is a tomahawk steak, and you should be able to find these at the meat department in your local Smith's. And the reason I chose to show you this one is because I feel like people would see this and maybe be intimidated by it. But it's super delicious, and actually the value for the pounds of the meat that you get here and the quality of the meat is what makes it worth it. So let me just show you some tips on how to cook this tomahawk steak. Okay, so one of the first things I did earlier was I coated this steak in a lot of kosher salt. Make sure it's kosher salt. That's the salt that's the granules are nice and big. Coat both sides of it really well, and then let it sit at room temperature for about an hour. And that salt is gonna start pulling moisture out of the steak or pulling it to the surface. That's gonna make it so it cooks better and a lot juicier in the end. And then what I did after that is I just took and wiped that excess salt off there. We don't want our meat to be too salty, so I went ahead and wiped off the extra salt on the outside. And so that's what I have right here now. It's room temperature, and now I'm gonna go ahead and season it with whatever steak seasoning you like. You could do, I'm using a nice Simple Truth steak seasoning here. You could just go salt and pepper again for that matter, and that would be just fine. But just go ahead and season it on both sides. Now you're going to want to have your grill up to high for the first part of this steak. Once it gets there, you're going to put that steak on there and just let it get a nice crust on the outside, kind of like what I have on my finished one here. Let that get a good grill mark on it, good crust, and then once it gets that, take it off the direct heat, maybe turn your heat down to low and move it away, because we want the inside of our steak to cook before the outside gets too burnt. So once you've done that, make sure to have a meat thermometer. Turn the heat down, close the lid, put a meat thermometer in there, and then this will help you to know when your meat gets to that temperature that you really want it to get to. Medium or rare being about 120 and so on and so forth. But another good tip is to remove the steak from the heat 10 degrees before your goal, because once you take it off the heat, it's going to continue to cook. But going back to it, when it's on the grill, go ahead and have some butter with some garlic and maybe some fresh herbs, and just kind of coat your steak with the butter as it's cooking. Maybe do it a couple of times. You do that and that steak's gonna just come out looking awesome, which I have here. So mine came to 120. It's perfect. The inside's cooked perfectly. It looks beautiful. Look at that beautiful steak, guys. It's going to be perfectly cooked on the inside. Make sure once you take it off of the heat, you rest the meat for about 10 minutes before slicing it. That way it gives the juices a chance to redistribute. Otherwise, you cut open it and juice is just going to go everywhere. Either way, you can find all of these ingredients at your local Smith's. You're going to love it. Happy Memorial Day. Happy grilling season. We'll see you next time. Happy shopping. Bye-bye.